that you'll ever do. Two can be as bad as one. It's the loneliest number since the number one. No is the saddest experience you'll ever know. Yes, it's the saddest experience you'll ever know. 'Cause one is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. One is the loneliest number worth two. It's just no good anymore since you went away. Now I spend my time just making rhymes of yesterday. One is the loneliest, the number one is the loneliest number. One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. One is the loneliest. One is the loneliest. One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. It's just no good anymore since you went away. Number one is the loneliest number. One is the loneliest number. One is the loneliest number that you ever do. Number one is the loneliest number. One is the loneliest number. One is the loneliest number that you ever do. Number
Hey everybody, happy Friday. I love that video. Three Dog Night. Well, it celebrates a dog, that's for sure. So, happy Friday. It's been a long week, a lot happening around. Good evening, everybody. Hello from Maspeth. Hello, George. How are you? That is great to see you. Hello, Anne-Marie. Good evening. Hello, Anne. Judy, you as well. Hi, Karen. Good to see you as well. So let's see. Let's start with questions. Hello, Ellen from the Upper West Side. Good to see you too. What else? Questions. Let's take questions first. What have you guys got? Hi, Linda from Staten Island. Hello, Cheryl. Roz. Hey, Harriet from Brooklyn. Carol from Staten Island. Good to see you. All right. Questions are open. What do you got? Because there's really not too much news-wise for our stuff coming from you, but anyone have any questions? Are you guys doing your homework? Because I'm telling you, I am not seeing you guys doing your homework. Definitely not. Not seeing it. Numbers got to be higher. What's with the UFT retiree email? I knew someone was going to ask me about that. Katie. Okay, well, I guess Michael Mulgrew forgot that that he doesn't offer you a drug plan in retirement, and he also forgot that the premium went up $30 a month. But he is giving you a reimbursement of an additional 15 this year, retro to January, except if you're not in that plan for 12 months, I think you only get a $5 increase. I just don't get that. He's one of the few unions that do not offer retirees a drug plan. And I just don't understand that either. So that's what that's about. If I pull that email up, let's see. I know I must have gotten it at least 15 times and now where to find it. Okay. Today, I am happy to announce the UFT Welfare Fund enhancement for retired UFT members that we have been working on for some time. With healthcare costs rising for everyone, we are committed to lowering your out-of-pocket costs whenever possible. Well, that's really nice of him after he increased the copays on every service for the first time in 60 years. What a nice guy. So he gives you $15 a month. You're still under let's see. That's why we're increasing the annual optional rider reimbursement for retirees. Each year, beginning in March, eligible retired members receive a partial reimbursement from the UFT Welfare Fund for the cost of the optional drug rider that provides prescription drug coverage from their insurance carrier. Previously, the UFT Welfare Fund reimbursed up to $840 a year. New enhancements. I absolutely hate that word. I just have to be honest about that. I absolutely hate that word. It just still, whenever they say that, it just makes me think of the Cialis commercial. Retroactive to January 1 of 2024, the reimbursement from the UFT Welfare Fund will be up to $900 for retirees whose optional drug rider plan deduction was in effect for the full year. Retirees whose rider was not in effect for less than 12, retirees whose rider was in effect for less than 12 months will receive reimbursement at the rate of $75 a month. Our goal, as always, is to take every opportunity to enhance the benefits that support you and your family while serving responsible stewards of the UFT Welfare Fund. I don't know. I think a more responsible steward would actually be just to pay your drug premiums and not keep passing on copays to you. I think that actually might make it a little bit better. UFT gets their drug plan. Actually, Lorraine, the UFT active worker gets their drug plan from the welfare fund. The retired UFT person gets their drug plan by purchasing a drug plan through the city of New York. So that is not entirely correct. But since that's a very vague statement, I'm going to let that lie. But I'm going to correct you exactly. No, if you're retired, you pay for it. That's not from your welfare fund. When do we get reimbursed from Medicare? So, Susan, that comes in April. And then if you're Irma, that comes in October. Hello from Hollis, Jerry. Let's see. Had 30 taken out of my pension, called TRS, told it was due to medical. Yes, because they increased the premium on your drug rider. Linda McCool, making my donation after this meeting. Well, thank you. Let's see. Sue, if Mulgrew walked back from Medicare Advantage, why hasn't he convinced Henry to do the same? That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, maybe the two of them will go out and have a beer and Michael could tell Henry to walk it back. CWA 1180 gives a drug plan, but not as good as Part D. So they also give back up to $2,000 for the city plan. Yes, I have the city plan for $153.67 a month. Also includes extra hospital. Yeah, so if you are purchasing the drug rider from the city of New York, you're paying $150 a month, and your $3.67 a month is the rider for the 365-day hospitalization. They come together. They are not provided or afforded to you separately. Copays also went up. We pay. Yes, you do. Sounds like he's trying to buy some votes from the retirees. Well, you do know, Ellen, there's an election coming in May, right? Good evening from Staten Island. Good evening, Lois. Can you comment on Brad Lander's pledge to protect retirees? Well, Karen, I did see that. There's some questions and concerns I have in his statement, and we've reached out to his office because he did not work on that statement with us. So before I speak about it, I'd like to know exactly what some of that means. So there's that. So hopefully I'll get back to you on that one next week. Evening and huge thanks. Oh, you guys are wonderful. Hey, Laura. Is it true that we can drop our prescription plan and still collect our Medicare reimbursement every year? So, Anne, your Medicare B reimbursement from the city of New York has nothing to do with your drug plan. You don't have to take the city's drug plan, and you'll still get your Medicare B reimbursement. If you are UFT, you should confirm with the UFT and get that in writing that if you purchase a drug plan on the marketplace, that they will still reimburse your optional, whatever he calls this, an optional rider reimbursement. What does he call it? UFT Welfare Fund Benefit Enhancement. They're paying you out of the welfare fund. If you are a retired teacher, they're giving you a reimbursement from the welfare fund, but retired teachers do not get drug benefits from the union. Let's make that crystal clear. UFT is pushing paras to get a $10,000 a year extra. Mulgrew is so afraid of this election. And so, yes, if you went up on the Fixed Para Pay website, am I able to link that? Let me see if I can pull that up. So on the Fixed Para Pay Facebook page, there was a statement tonight that literally just went up, Fixed Para Pay, about that very issue. Here it is. All right, now let me see if I could share my screen and share with you what they had to say. Okay. But I don't really see that being shared. So give me one more second. Share screen. And hopefully you guys could see that. Let me know if you could see. Can you guys see that? For some reason, I don't think you could see that. Nope, it's looking at me. All right, so I'm just going to read it to you. For some reason, it's not pulling up. So the official statement from Fixed Para Pay, this is the para chapter. It says $10,000. It sounds good, but is it? Oops. That looks like an old statement. Am I pulling up the right one? We seem to be having technical difficulties. Here we go. Okay. On behalf of Fixed Para Pay and in the interest of 38,000 paras, Fixed Para Pay for real, no more backroom deals. The U of T has finally taken a step in the right direction with their belated recognition that paraprofessionals deserve better pay. A potential $10,000 bonus is a long overdue step, and we celebrate any financial relief. It's about time that para-valuable contributions to New York City schools were acknowledged, but let's be clear. This is happening because of us. This is the result of Fixed Para Pay, our overwhelming historic chapter election win, and our relentless campaign for better pay now. We fought, made our voices heard, and U of T President Michael Mulgrew had no choice but to listen and respond. Just to be clear, this is an announcement about a bill that has yet to be written, yet to be introduced, yet to be passed, for money that has never been given to workers by this method in New York City history. It is an idea that a handful of council members hope will happen in June's budget negotiations, and which City Hall has already stated will not happen this way. We believe this move by the current U of T leadership is directly because Fixed Para Pay won the para chapter election last spring and their attempt to win the upcoming U of T leadership election. Your elected paraprofessional chapter representatives were never consulted. We were told that we couldn't even bring up higher wages during the last round of negotiations. We were told the city didn't have money to give us raises we needed and deserve. Now, suddenly, the money appears, but without a guarantee for the future. It's important to recognize that this proposed bonus is a blatant election year gimmick, that Mulgrew is trying to buy votes instead of negotiating a contract with real pensionable raises. A bonus does not solve the ongoing problem of low wages and doesn't keep up with the cost of living. It does not solve the ongoing problem of pensions too meager to retire with dignity. It does not solve the ongoing problem of paras being denied access to Lodi and equitable longevity raises. If the city has the funds to provide this money now, why wasn't it included in our contract as a real raise, and why weren't the other problems addressed? This is part of a larger pattern in which U of T leadership refuses to budge unless forced to. Consider, Mulgrew not only pushed Medicare Advantage plan, he designed it himself. He ignored the objections of thousands of retirees until they crushed his hand-picked puppet in the retired teacher chapter last election in June. It was only then he suddenly reversed course and claimed he now opposed Medicare Advantage. He ignored criticism of the welfare fund's benefit schedule being inadequate until it became clear it was a liability for him. He then decided more than the $800 million he's sitting on could be put towards alleviating rising costs for U of T members. The press conference yesterday was his last sleight of hand, designed to distract overworked, underpaid professionals from the fact that he has done almost nothing for them during his 16 years as U of T president. We know many paraprofessionals see a potential $10,000 bonus as an immediate need being met. The more important issue is this type of bonus will never allow paras to live and retire in dignity, not to mention violates the tenets of collective bargaining. As reported by Chalkbeat, the mayor's office believes this needs to be addressed in the next bargaining session. We're not going to let union elites and the city bureaucrats cut backroom deals ever again. Paras keep this city schools running, and we deserve real respect, not temporary fixes. If Mulgrew and the city think they can decide our fate without us, they should think again. Paras need a recurring pensionable raise and need to be included in the conversation. This attempt is not that. So there you go, guys. That is the official U of T retired teacher chapter statement. So yes. Let's see. I missed a whole bunch of questions while reading that. Here we go. Mulgrew is trying to circumvent Adams and the city by having city council pass a bill for paras raises. I thought they don't get involved in contract negotiations. I guess it's okay if they get endorsements. Ding, 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 ding. You hit that one on the head. Did you ever find out what will happen to the City Department of Correction retirees if the city privatizes New York City corrections? No, I don't think your benefits will become null and void. It's contractual. Is Justin Brannon still hiding out? Well, if Justin's following this, because we're streaming into Twitter, he could probably see this. I think so, yes. Actually, I don't think so. Yes, I know so. He's making some ridiculous statement to people that if this council passes this bill, that the mayor will sue. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous because the mayor has sued the council before. The council is currently suing the mayor. I mean, this is just a lame-ass excuse. There's really no other way to say that. Sorry, Jeanette. Absolutely true. Justin is still hiding and spreading misinformation. And no, he's also looking for endorsements everywhere. So that's the messaging I'm getting from around town. That's all I can tell you. P.S. I know unions don't represent retirees. Thank you very much. You're absolutely correct. Anne Marie, because Mulgrew is up for re-election, if he's re-elected, he'll be right in with Henry. Very true. Michael, how is the increase determined? Is the increase regulated by the city's contract? Michael, if you're speaking of the paras, this is an attempt to go around collective bargaining and actually have these very well needed cash bump up legislated by the city council. That is the first time in history, to my knowledge, that would be done at a council level, especially by a council that's insisting it doesn't want to get involved in collective bargaining. Even with us, and our issues are not collectively bargained, we are already retired. We are not in unions. We don't bargain. You hear me say this a million times. However, wages, hours, and work conditions are mandatory subject to bargaining. And I don't even understand how this even got to the point of having a press conference on the steps of City Hall. How did it get that far? I have no idea. But I will tell you that there are other union leaders that are not very happy about this. Are the paras deserving? 110%, absolutely. They are underpaid, they're underappreciated, and that's even coming from their own union leadership, sadly. So we support them 110%. We want to make sure that they get what they need to be able to live. But to give a $10,000 cash poison pill, basically, because it's not pensionable. So if their salaries are $32,000, you're giving them $10,000 more, so they'll be making $42,000. But if they retire, that $10,000 isn't pensionable. They're still making 50% of $32,000. This is irresponsible. This doesn't allow them to live or retire in dignity. And that is wrong. She's 100% correct in her statement, and we stand with that. I agree with everything she wrote. Went to 4 doctors this month, and no one asked for a copay. So they weren't going to ask for a copay because, yes, you gently told them that we had to meet the deductible first. So you're correct. That's the way it's supposed to be working, and I'm glad they listened to you. I will tell you that not everyone's doctor is listening to them, but I'm glad yours did and listened to you. Hi, Lila. Hope you're feeling better. Let's see. I've been sharing the important interview Dan Alicea gave you and Ronnie Almonte this past October. So valuable for everyone to hear about the UFT Welfare Fund, hearing it in multiple times. Yeah, because they're sitting on like $800 million in their reserves. Don't forget to mention the homework. Thank you, Mia. So, guys, I'm going to send out a newsletter this weekend. I know I'm a week behind, but I've been crazy busy. And you guys must do those emails, and you must make those phone calls, and you need to do this on a daily basis starting Monday. So I may not send out that email until maybe Sunday afternoon, but starting Monday on a daily basis, phone calls and emails. Doing it once doesn't cut it. You need to make those calls every single day. Yes. Hello, Diker Heights. Hey, Jeanette. We need to get the council on 1096. Gee, and yet they're doing a bill like this and saying it doesn't violate collective bargaining when it directly does. At that point, any union in the city, hey, unions, are you listening to this video? If you're an active union, you should contact Carmen De La Rosa and Rita Joseph and ask them to give you a raise. I mean, that's ridiculous. Maybe we should do that too. Did you hear back from OSA after you left? I left a voicemail for Rob Spencer. No, he did not answer me back. In the latest OSA newsletter, Bob said OSA never said that MA should be the only way to save money. Maybe I should bring his voice. I don't think he said it was the only way. He did vote to support it, though. But no, they did not call me back. And I've called and I emailed Rob, but I will call Bob on Monday. Charlie's aunt. Mulgrew said Paris can't live in New York City on a $32,000 salary. I asked how he thought retirees could live on a $15,000 pension and copays. That is a great question, Charlie's aunt. That right there, that is the thing, right? I've always said my pension is a $35,000 pension. I can't live in the city on that even before we had copays. I just don't get that. And yet he then put copays on top of everyone. And even we have retirees that make less than $30,000. So it's frustrating that yet you have elected leaders, Speaker Adams, Carmen De La Rosa, Lynn Shulman, Crystal Hudson, Chair of Aging, Amanda Farias, Justin Brannon. These are people who are leaders who are running for office again in higher offices. And yet they're not doing two things: protecting the promise the city made to retired workers, which means they're okay with not keeping a promise. So they could say something to you today and break it tomorrow. The second thing is they're not willing to protect traditional Medicare. And so everyone wants to say, like there's that issue of Project 2025, that's the default plan in there is Medicare Advantage. If you go through that document, and I think I said it was like page 498 or something, Medicare Advantage is the default plan. You have a potential secretary coming in, if he's installed by the government, that is on a Medicare Advantage plan, and he likes it. This is although the same guy that had a worm eating his brain. So if you have these issues coming against you where it's potentially that the government will then take a position that should be your plan and not traditional Medicare, then your city government is doing something else. They are taking the position, your Democrats, all of these people behind me are taking the position you should be in Medicare Advantage. That's not the Democratic position. If they're all Democrats. So if that's the case, kindly tell me, why is it that they are trying to say Project 2025? Look, I got 2 text messages from AFSCME accusing the current presidential administration of trying to implement Project 2025. AFSCME is letting Henry Garrido do it all on his own right here in New York City. And that's Henry Garrido and Lee Saunders, the head of AFSCME. So I question all of that. You can't say that you're a Democratic leader or running from a Democratic office on a Democratic Party platform position on a Democratic line, and you're allowing the mayor of the city of New York and the speaker, Adrienne Adams, and the leadership of the city council to implement a Project 2025 default plan of Medicare Advantage. So, I got questions about that all over the place, and yet they don't ever want to answer them. They don't. Gus, hi, Marianne. Thanks for all your time. Next week is my first doctor's appointment. Do I pay a copay and how much? Gus, man, really? You have to meet your deductible first. If your doctor insists, then you have to pay it. But you're supposed to be educating them. Please call GHI Senior Care, and they will tell the doctor that you have to meet your deductible first. If it's your first appointment, you haven't met your deductible. But don't fight with the doctor. Just take the receipt and put it in an envelope. Hey, Tommy's a UFT member. Yes, we love our paras. We absolutely do. Follow Fix Para Pay. Who will the organization support in the UFT election? Not Mike, right? No, we haven't decided where our support is going. We're waiting because some of the groups haven't even announced their slates yet, and neither has the UFT. I don't know if Michael Mulgrew is running, and I don't know who the ABC group is running. We just know one slate of people. David, Mulgrew announced today an increase in the yearly welfare fund. Yep, we already talked about that. So happy to see he's running scared. $900 in a frantic attempt to pay off retirees. Well, Who are we supporting for mayor at this time? Anybody but Adams, ABA. Hey, Ken. So we have asked candidates to support our 3 issues. And so far, 2 of them have given what we have asked them, what we've discussed with them in writing. Jim Walden, who was historically a Democrat running as an independent, and we came out to support him right away. Walden is also the founding partner of the same law firm that has been defending us in court. So when we met with him and we went over the issues that we have, and we discussed 3 issues with him: the Medicare Advantage, the city shouldn't force us into Medicare Advantage. It should be an option like it always has been, and they shouldn't increase our costs. 2, that our Medicare B reimbursements need to be given more timely. Right now they're giving them to us like 16 to 22 months later. That needs to happen more timely. And then 3, that they need to come up with like a buffer period to be able to make a determination on what to do when when the retiree passes, they lose their health. This family loses their health benefits the very same day. We want everyone to be able to make those decisions, not under grief, and even know that they are losing their health care from the city. So you're not really going to, many people aren't going to have that capacity to learn that or take care of that the day that your loved one dies. So there should be like a 30-day period that the city carries you before you have to make that change. That was our ask. Right now, only Jim Walden had done that. Brad Lander did give us something on his website and a post on social media, but one of his statements is conflicting with what they're actually telling us, and it needs to be clarified before we do anything about it. I am sorry, I'm not tech savvy. I feel more comfortable sending my monthly contribution by mailing a check. Is it true you do not keep check? Well, Carol, it's very difficult for us to track checks by mail. But if you log into your account, like I've been asking everyone to create an account online, you will see whatever ones that we have tracked. And that way, you know also what we've received, what we're tracking, and what we're not getting. But it is a manual procedure, and we have to pay someone to do this, which is why we've been asking people to do it electronically. And we've been asking now since the end of last year to create an account on our portal. So I'm going to ask you to do both of those. Let's see. Great statement with the right questions and concerns by Paris. They shall not be fooled. No, they won't. I know Paris who are suffering as we speak. I know, Deborah, it is a struggle. Take the money and run, my colleagues. Well, remember, it is a bill that has to be introduced and it has to be passed. And I don't think the city will allow that bill to be passed because it is an end run around collective bargaining. The UFT does absolutely nothing about bully principals unless the media covers the story. Otherwise, the UFT does diddly squat to help teachers against a bully principal. CJP, I just sent Brandon an email today. I'd be interested to see what you wrote. Could you explain the situation with Mr. Bennett and Arise and the upcoming election? So, Ellen, all I could tell you is that with the emails that we're getting, so we're getting this from other retirees in the retired teacher chapter, that they're frustrated that they're not really feeling they're getting information, and that he or his caucus chose to align with other caucuses without sharing them or taking a vote on it. So that's what we're getting. My advice to you is, since that could be third and fourth hand, your best bet is to reach out to Mr. Bennett and ask him yourself. Why did Justin co-sponsor 1099 just to steal our votes? Well, yeah, because he was running contested. You know, that's why his head, where's his head? Is his head still up there or did it fall down? Oh no, there's his head. See that? Let's see. Where is it? There he goes, right next to Lynn Shulman. Not interested in Arise. And that was another general consensus as well, Andrea. I asked him to get off the fence and tell me whether he'll support passage or 1096. Well, I asked him the same thing every time he texts me because he robo-texts me. I never asked to be put up on his campaign text messages, but I got enrolled in his text messages, and I get them all the time. And every time he sends them to me, I send him a reply. Not happy with the two different slates running against the UFT. Arise and ABC with two different slates, unity will win. And Elke, and that's wrong to be saying that. I disagree with that statement 110%. So I think that's a false statement. You have 100 something thousand, 180,000, 120,000 active teachers and 80,000 retirees. You have, I mean, less than 1% of the people are in those caucuses. That doesn't mean anything. And given the turnout of what had typically votes versus what we were able to help the retired teacher chapters move by helping them spread their word and giving them a voice, that they were able to get their votes out. That's really the most important in my book. Doesn't matter what caucus you're in. Caucuses don't win elections. People do. James Collins, any word on the DC Retirees Association suspension and effort to appeal or reverse that suspension? No, they are waiting to get their 501c5 reinstated by the federal government, which could take a while. Have they formally our biggest financial supporters? They weren't our biggest financial supporters, actually. The retired firefighters were. Can we reach out to Letitia James to investigate Adrian Adams for pandering to Garrido? That'd be interesting if we could. Tommy, as a UFT member, I will never support a Rise or any other UFT caucus that supports defund the police. What an idiotic concept. I created a Medicare portal online. I had a colonoscopy in January. Medicare says I may have to pay $305. So that's more than the $257 Medicare deductible. Right. So the 305 that they're saying you would have to pay would normally go to senior care. But if you hadn't met your deductible, it goes to your deductibles first. Hi. Well, Ann, you don't have to sign in. You're here. Remember, you can live stream by clicking. You can join this live stream by clicking our the link on our Facebook page, or go to YouTube. If you don't have YouTube, just go to our Facebook page. I put the link in our Facebook page. Now I pay co-pays. Yes, and you could thank the Municipal Labor Committee, Harry, Henry, and Michael for that. Katie. If the $10,000 were part of base pay, a 3% raise next year would mean an extra $300 a year for life plus pension benefits. Wrong, Katie. There are no pension benefits. It is a non-pensionable $10,000. So it doesn't add to your pension, which doesn't help them in the long run. It's literally a poison pill. It does nothing for you other than make you think while you're employed that you have a living wage. And then what's going to happen is it's not even really living. They still need more than $10,000. What's going to happen though is if that bumps them up to over $42,000, when they go to retire, it takes that $10,000 out. So you're still back to a 50% pension based on $32,000. It's not a livable pension, and it's not a livable wage. It's a scam. Do they need the money? 110%. They absolutely do. But that's not the way to do it. That makes them think that they're getting something. And then, of course, when they realize that their pension is based on 50% of a salary less this $10,000, cash grab, they're now going to be retired and no longer in the union. Mogul's not really going to care. Heard anything? Nope. I think I answered that question already. Is this event most Fridays at 7? Well, yeah, John, I was trying to come on earlier, but I was helping another group do some work, so I could not get on at 7 o'clock, but I did post that I was coming on at 7:30. Does the city have any input? Well, of course they do. I mean, Emblem does have to negotiate those raises, those increases in premium, and they do have to submit them to DFS, Department of Financial Services, and the state does have to approve them. But the premiums are definitely manipulated by the Municipal Labor Committee, and the HIP HMO benchmark is suppressed by the MLC. Let's see. Please advise if you post on a politician's political Facebook page and he's discussing an issue, is he allowed to delete your response if it is polite and not threatening? I thought it was a First Amendment right to give your opinion. Actually, if they're an elected official, they're not supposed to be deleting your posts if they're polite and they're not and non-threatening, and they're not supposed to be blocking you either. Yeah, so I'd be interested to find out what's going on there. Who is deleting your posts? Your talking points for 1096 are excellent. They're either gaslighting us or keeping their answering machines on. It's very frustrating. I know. I need to probably put up a post on Monday for feedback on what you're facing when you're making those calls. Keep asking. Medicare Advantage and private equity are scourges in our society. I know. Spring is almost around the corner. Will we be visiting Queens, Adrian Adams District? Maybe. Lee Saunders was the former head of DC 37. Yes. And he is still the head of AFSCME, which is over DC 37. Good evening, Paula. Let's see. And Toffee, thank you, Marianne, for your leadership. They are speaking out both sides of their mouth, avoiding the real issue. This is a very serious matter, and I appreciate you for continuing the fight. Well, thank you, Toffee. I appreciate the comment, and I appreciate you following. We're hopefully going to get you in office. That is crazy. CJP, please excuse my blunt language. They are sucking up to Project 2025 to avoid confrontation with the Trump regime. Crazy. One member on our Facebook page suggested having the truck to city council members' offices who are not supporting our legislation. Well, the truck was back at Henry's office this week. Tommy, Jim Walden is very good. We agree. That's crazy. Beverly, my eye doctor insisted on the full deductible. I had no choice. As much as I tried to explain, yes, holding the receipt. Thanks again for all you do. So Beverly, next time that happens, have them contact Emblem, and Emblem can tell them, if they determine that you've met the deductible or not. If you haven't met your deductible, that would be one, I could understand why they would be asking that. If Mulgrew's Medicare Advantage plan is not politicking, let the UFT file an amicus brief in Bentkowski. We've actually asked the UFT to file an amicus brief. We've also asked them to help support 1096. And what we keep hearing is that time and time again, we keep hearing the United Federation of Teachers has a woman named Bridget Rain running around trying to tell council members to stop signing on to the bill. Don't sign on to the bill. It's ridiculous. So I'm calling out Michael Mulgrew at this point. If you are supporting And whoever's from retired teacher chapter should bring this up to your retired teacher chapter. Or if you talk to Michael Mulgrew, why is Bridget Rain going around telling council members to not sign the bill? If the official position of the UFT is that they support protecting retirees. It's a good question. Kathy, Jim Walden is great. Yes, yes, yes. We all agree. Gerald, if Adams runs for mayor under any party, do you think he would drop the lawsuits if he believes he needs the retirees to win? I don't think Adams knows what he wants. And I think he would potentially consider, I was hearing rumors he was asking the unions if they would still support him if he ran under a Republican line. I don't know. So we'll have to see what happens. Laura, I am for Jim Walden. Brannon only co-sponsored 1099 last year to match Ari Kagan to steal our votes, then got union votes telling them Speaker Adams will not allow the vote. Well, then you have to ask, is that someone that you're willing to support? You know, he was trying to tell me that what he'll do is make sure that the money's in the budget. I'm like, okay, but the money is in the budget and it's legislated. It's already earmarked for the budget. It was like all of their fake anger, like I said to you the other day, that they were angry that the federal government was suspending earmarked money for federal programs like housing and food stamps and Medicaid, healthcare for low income. But they're not okay that 1096 has been in effect since 12-126 has been in effect since 1967. The money has been earmarked in the budget for us for almost 60 years. They're not angry that someone's looking to take that away. So, or pretend that it's not there, or pretend that there's some heavy lift to make sure that it's still there. I mean, this is just fake news to me. So, let's see. Beverly Webb, tell them to bill you after Medicare. That's correct. I don't think my Ann Elterman, I see your comments. I don't know why you don't see them, but I see you. Anita, I'd vote for you for mayor. Well, gee, thank you. I told Justin Brannon I need to know whether he'll support passing 1096. Okay. Anytime I put your link up in Retiree Advocate, it gets deleted. And now a resolution is coming up to the DA to ban outsiders in UFT business. Well, I don't think you have outsiders in UFT business. I don't know where that's coming from. But if it's getting deleted, look on your page, go and look and see who your board members are, who are your moderators or your admins. If I'm correct on that, the last person that told me that, it was coming from Jonathan Hallaby. So maybe you want to talk to Jonathan about why he's deleting your comments, especially if he's supporting retirees. Do you know about Dr. Ed Ware, PhD's YouTube channel? He's a former Social Security manager, does daily live podcasts. He provides valuable information. Well, honestly, Janet, I don't know what information he could give me that I can't give myself. I could probably teach his web channel. Beverly, I did. They said they won't and don't bill people. It sounds ridiculous. I had to charge it. Beverly, could you do me a favor, please, and write that exact statement to us at our email address, retirees@nycretirees.org, and let us know exactly what you are saying here, that you went to the doctor, they refused to bill you, they told you must pay whatever it was, your deductible up front, and you did, and you've kept your receipt, and they wouldn't bill you. So please send us an email on that. Can we afford to have the billboard truck go to district offices and drive through the streets of that district saying that council member doesn't support Medicare for retirees? Yes. And the guy that we rent the truck from loves us so much, he gives us a break because he likes doing it. Yes, the retirees do have a weighted vote. It's like 25 or 27,000 votes, and you have like 80,000 retirees. So you got to get your votes in quick. Let's see. When it comes time to demonstrate in Coney Island at Justin Brannan's office, I will be front and center. Okay. Deborah, beware the poison pills we swallowed for raises enabled the clowns to try putting us in Medicare Advantage. Yep. But see, active workers don't really understand that, you know? So, Lila, you probably need to move away from PayPal and do ACH. It's a lot easier and it's basically the same thing. Right, Harriet. Plus, think of the taxes coming out of $10,000, which you'd have to claim on your taxes. So you're getting a $10,000 lump sum check most likely, and that's not going to make people happy. Mary, I saw my cardiologist today at 4. I'm having a catheter angiogram on Monday. That would never have happened on a Medicare Advantage plan. I'd be waiting for God knows how long for approval. Thanks for all you're doing. And Mary, you're absolutely correct on that. We're actually helping retirees in transit that were forced into an MA plan. And we're also helping retirees in Fresno who were also on the same Aetna Medicare Advantage plan as the transit people. And they are having the same issues. One lady's husband died because Aetna refused to allow him to an extension of his skilled nursing. So they told him just go home. And his wife was elderly and sick, couldn't take care of him. And when they went to go get him back into rehab, back into skilled nursing, Aetna said no. And he didn't even meet the maximum days that Medicare would allow. Aetna still said no. Retirees in Fresno are not getting access to doctors and hospitals. The networks are narrow, and their treatment that their doctors are prescribing is getting delayed multiple times through multiple levels of appeals. So we're actively helping the Fresno teachers with the same issue. And guess what? They're an AFT union too. Yes, Randy Weingarten not making many friends these days. Let's see. Medicare members 2025 must satisfy Medicare and GHI deductible first and then pay the $15 copay kicks in. Many doctors are demanding the $15 copay per visit, regardless of deductible satisfaction. What to do? You have to pay it then if they're insisting it. You can ask them to call Emblem at the desk. When you get up to the desk, ask them to call Emblem Health, and Emblem will tell them that they're not supposed to charge you until you've met the deductibles and to bill you. If the doctor refuses, pay it. And also, please send our email email us and tell us that this is happening, that your doctor will not bill you, and that you must pay these copays up front. They're not even telling you whether or not you've satisfied the they're not listening that you haven't satisfied the deductible yet. Is anyone running against Brown, and now that lady in red dropped out to run for public advocate? I think there is. I think Mark Levine is running for comptroller as well. But I think I'll have more on that next week. I think next week. Is Adrienne Adams retiring? I saw something about that. Not to my knowledge. I know she's term limited, so she can no longer be a city council member. Who knows what she'll do? But if I remember correctly, I think, and before I say that, I want to just double check myself. So in December, she'll be 65. And the mayor is also 65. So this is the year they'll be both 65. That means they're both Medicare eligible. And so her birthday's in December. And Eric is in September, and they're both 64. So, yep. What could I tell you? Happy belated birthday. Thank you. Bring that truck to Riverdale. Trust me, it will. Has Adolphe met the requirements to qualify for matching funds? Roberta, I believe he has, and I think we've helped him exceed what he was able to. I think what the allowable amount was. The more I listen to Three Dog Night on Henry Garrido, the more I love it. I know, I love it too. So I'm getting a message that there is a weighted vote for the teachers, but it's not the first 27. But it's not the first 27,000. It goes up to that. They'll be Medicare eligible, but if they still work, yes. So yes. That's saying that the speaker and the mayor are still working for the city at this point. Like that Adrian hasn't retired and Eric's not in jail. But yeah, I get it. As city council members hide from us with their darn answering machines, I think the best resort is to post our comments on their Facebook and Twitter pages. Yes, you do. That's a great idea. I do that every day. You guys can do that too. I met my Medicare deductible, and I hope it doesn't present a problem. I saw 3 doctors in January. It'll be figured out. I wouldn't worry about it, Beverly. Well, it'll just keep watching those EOBs to make sure. Adams wants a pardon from Trump, period. Only thing he really wants. And I have another message that says they get great coverage in jail, no copays. Yolanda, thank you for all you do for us. You're welcome. Why doesn't the city council know the truth about Henry and his lies? Inez, all I could tell you is that the speaker's chief of staff is Jeremy John, and he used to be the political action director for Henry Garrido at DC 37. And no one else is taking the time to actually learn this. We have sat with them now for years, and they're just, I think honestly, they just don't care, and they don't belong there anymore if they don't care. So the time is now. 51 people, I think, are up for, all of them are either term limited or up for election. It's now time to get rid of them. They need to not be reelected. They need to not be elected to a higher office. This needs to be a major campaign issue on what they've done to retired workers for the city of New York, and allowing the city to break its promise to people, and allowing union leaders to steal their benefits to finance their contracts. And of course, not protecting a federal public health benefit of Medicare, and showing fake outrage when a presidential administration does the same thing on the federal side. So, and not doing it, not taking care of those at home. And that's all I got to say about that. Let's see. I was told that resolution was about you, maybe stopping us from mentioning you on sanctioned UFT sites. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm going to tell you, we don't interfere in union business. We got enough of our own business. What they don't like is that we educate union leaders, we educate active union members, we educate retirees. as to what their rights are and what they should and shouldn't be doing, their leaders shouldn't be doing. That's what they don't like. It doesn't have anything to do with me like meddling in some business. I don't go to Mulgrew's meetings or UFT meetings or whatever. There's none of that. What they just don't like is they don't like that we're keeping you educated and telling you how to stand up for yourself. And we're also calling out their lies and their bullshit and all that other stuff that they would normally have gotten away with, So Rob Spencer is not telling the truth. OSA has been pushing Medicare Advantage for at least 3 years by president. Yes, I'm aware. I've heard those meetings. Totally got it. Audia, hello, Wonder Woman. Thank you. Hello, Audia. And thank you for standing up to Henry. Everyone give a big clap or a thumbs up or hearts for Audia, because Henry was spewing disinformation at the delegate assembly meeting, telling the delegates, of which Audia is one of them, that when we did Occupy DC 37, that we were using racist materials and telling him to go back to Dominican Island. And I'm like, no one had any racist anything to say. I'm not against Dominicans. Our lobbyist is Dominican, and I love my lobbyist tremendously. So that was a little crazy. And then what was the other thing that they were saying? Oh, that we went to his mother's church and attacked his mother. Like, what? I honestly didn't know his mother was still alive. I don't know what church she goes to. I don't even know where she lives. And yeah, so no idea. But if I did know his mother, I'd probably, go over and hug her and tell her that her son is doing bad things to the rest of us. But no, that wasn't us. And our island pictures was Henry's on Medicare Advantage Island. I don't think that's Dominican Island or Dominican Republic Island. It's Medicare Advantage Island. So it's another fake outrage and then trying to, let's attack the victim that you victimized. Pretty crazy. Active worker, I understand, but you're very helpful in teaching and clarifying. Well, thank you, Swami. It is important, because if your own union leaders aren't going to tell you this information, look, I always tell everyone, fact check the hell out of me. Go ahead. We stand by what we say. And if anyone ever proves anything that we said something wrong or we made a mistake, we've actually admitted that. So if I make a mistake, I'll tell you, I think I made a mistake. Or I put something, people even correct my spelling. And I was like, well, I'm imperfect. I'm perfectly imperfect. I'm sorry. Sometimes I rush to get some things out and there's just no way I could do it, Yes, and one teacher even gave me that Grammarly app, and I still screw stuff up. So it is what it is. But when it comes to labor relations, look, when we were at the UFT RTC meeting in October, there was that email floating around from Vinnie Gaglione that says, don't ask Marian any questions. She knows more than us. I'm like, seriously? This is a problem, and that's what allows you to keep spreading bullshit. So... Elke, I had a comment removed from the UFT retiree page too. It was reminiscent of the old UFT page, and Susan Polici, very disappointing. Well, Elke, you should probably definitely be reaching out to Mr. Bennett and telling him how you feel. Let's see. Mike, I'm very disappointed with a new faction at UFT making defeat of Mulgrew more difficult. Mike, I'm going to tell you, I disagree again. It doesn't have anything to do with caucuses. Caucuses don't win elections. People do. No caucus has won any election in the United Federation of Teachers for 60 years. It doesn't matter if they're 1 or there's 40. What has to happen is the people have to be willing to vote. And if you look at how many people are in the union versus how many people vote, that's a very big difference. And less than 1% of the people, I believe, are in a caucus. It doesn't really matter. So you're not going to align with people with different political ideologies. And I've been saying this for years. Put your damn politics aside. That's your hobby. That's your social issue, not your union issue. They don't want to follow that. I don't have an issue with there being multiple caucuses, but honestly, I don't agree with the caucuses. There shouldn't be a caucus in the first place. People should all get together with the same issues. Wages, hours, and working conditions, the things that matter most. This is not everything that they want to discuss has to do with a caucus. That's your social club. That's your personal beliefs. That's your, I don't know, your hobby. But that's not a union issue. Not all of those are union issues. And that has to be your focus. That's why I did that video on Samuel Gompers. It has to be what your bread and butter issues: wages, hours, work conditions. That's it. And I'm going to stand by that. Look, I'm not a caucus. We help people. We help them learn and we help empower them. This is why unions are actually thanking us. Unions, not just in New York City, New York State, and around the country. So it is what it is. And just like my opinion, a million other people have their own opinions. But let's see. Another inquiry. Who was the woman speaking on BAI today? She sounded like she was the host. I wanted to hear more of you. Actually, I was this one speaking. So the first segment was Keziah and myself, and we had Dr. Bollinger from HHC. And on the second half, that was me and Joe Maniscalco from Work Bites. We're changing up the format a little bit. I want to be able to do labor news, good, bad, and ugly. And I want to be able to report on things. I want to be able to tell what great things unions are doing and what not so great things unions are doing. That's the only way to protect the labor movement. And I'm going to stand by that. That's empowering people. So MA horror stories need to be passed along to senators who have been outspoken in favor of traditional Medicare. They need specifics, like the woman who testified about abortion horror stories. Patricia, I don't know what you're talking about. There's been hearings on the federal side, but there's a lot of people, remember, that don't have a choice they cannot afford to purchase a supplemental plan. They may talk about the great things that Medicare Advantage does, but that's only because they're being lobbied by Medicare Advantage. Like Chuck Schumer, for example, is literally bought. And that's what we should do. I need someone who can make a really great image. Maybe we should just do jackets. Or sashes. Do you remember when we were in Girl Scouts, like we had those sashes that with all of the patches? I don't know what Boy Scouts had, but we had sashes, and I actually still have mine with all the little patches on it. We should make every city council person that's, I guess, bought or owned or whatever, funded by some union or some lobby political interest, that's who we know that they're owned by. Kind of like NASCARs. I don't know. That'd be interesting. Justin Brannon does his own, so it's kind of funny to watch. Her term, Adrienne Adams' term ends in council. She went to high school. Yes, I'm aware. You gave Henry a beach body. That's too good. Well, I had to give a compliment a little bit. You know, you can't always just backhand them. You gotta. Well, can I show you another one? I don't know if I could. I don't know if it's in a form I could share. Let's see. So we've been making more because the truck needs so many more. Oh yeah, I could show you this one. Let's see. Let's see if this one will work, because I don't know if it'll slides. No, oh, share screen. Let's see if it'll let me share my screen this time, because it wasn't letting me doing it before. Let's see if you could see that. Nope. It's not letting you see my screen. Oh, here it is. Hold on. How's that? How's that, Ellen? That makes up for the beach body, right? I hear you. If you can't debate, they will berate. Oh, absolutely. That's why they don't want me in the room, because I'll know when they're bullshitting them. Celso says, I'm Dominican. I do not like what he's doing to my Dominican dad. And so many other members are being hurt. I agree with you, my dear. It is crazy. Where can we get actual documents saying the $15 copay kicks in after we meet the 257? Sue, go log into your Emblem portal and it's on your portal. I'm disgusted with Randy Weingarten. Never thought I'd hate my union so much. We got to try to fix that. They all need to be educated, Randy included. William, they're not giving me any answers. None of the unions want to answer about the credibility of their plan. Gerald, will the state bill start picking up? So the Senate bill just got reintroduced, and the Assembly bill will be introduced shortly. Once they are, we'll announce the new numbers and the sponsors. Mia, love your Friday podcast. Well, thank you. Speaking of WBAI, Jim Walden was interviewed the other day. Jim sounds great on the air. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that. That's fantastic. I only heard part of WBAI then. Well, remember, Kathy, my show starts at 7 and it ends at 8. So from the 7 a.m. part, it was me, Dr. Bollinger, and Kazaya. And then the second part was just basically me and Joe Maniscalco. Katie says, we welcome all to come to an ABC member assembly, RA, More ICE, New Action, Unity, Solidarity. I donate $5 a month to WBAI. Thank you, Kathy. Anita, again, I'd vote for you in a heartbeat for mayor or anything else. We need people of passion for what they believe, for what is right, not just for themselves, but for the greater good. That is so sweet, Anita. Thank you. Gerald says, Boy Scouts have them too for merit badges. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not posting that one. I'm glad I saw that first. I agree with you that we should only be concerned with bread and butter issues. But what if certain candidates support issues that we believe dangerous? How could we vote for them? Elke, what I think you should do is focus on wait till all whatever caucus is announced who they're running for, and make sure that they're willing to put themselves, like put in writing, like we are doing with candidates, asking them to put in writing their commitment, and don't let them get away with their commitment being vague. It has to be a stated commitment, and if they won't do it, that's a problem. Love Henry's tiny feet. I love that too. Yeah, now you know what I do when I can't sleep at night. I know. It's crazy. Very, very crazy. I'm beginning to believe that all of the union plans aren't really creditable and the insurance underwriters are the ones saying they are. I kind of agree with you, William, but I have no proof otherwise. So, I mean, as we're trying to get through some of this, they still haven't even answered since August, and we've sent several letters several times to the OLR regarding the CWA 1180 plan. So today's Friday, but I will again send it Monday, and this time I will send it to the law department as well. Let the truck put fear in city council members' hearts. The truck drivers should shoot photos and send them to you so we can post them on Facebook. I'll send you photos of the one that was down in front of Henry's office this week. There's only a couple of them, but I will make sure that that you do see them. Why did health insurance go up? Carol, what did go up was your drug plan. Health insurance, I don't know what you're referring to on that, but that's really all there is there. It's right now we only know your drug plan. Your drug plan costs have gone up. My union drug plan wasn't considered creditable and was put into a Medicare Part D drug plan. I think they know more and more of them are. And that's part of the issue is it's being exposed that they're not creditable Part D plans and that they're either creating a Part D plan or they're telling you you have to get the city plan if they can't create one for you. So what is the process for equalizing the MLC votes per union if possible? And I'm assuming you're meaning like when we usually say one union, one vote. So you have to pass a bylaw vote. And I'd have to go back and check the number. It's either 2/3 or 3/4 to make an amendment. And I believe they softened that to 2/3, which basically means the UFT and DC 37 could pass an amendment all on their own, which if I remember correctly, and that's what they did, I remember not liking that because that just means the two of them could, and that's a problem. So it would have to be it would be a problem for transparency reasons, meaning. So yeah, that would definitely be an issue. So, all right, guys, I've been at this since just an hour and 15 minutes, and I'd like to call it quits because it's late and I'd like to get some stuff done before I call it a night. If you guys would, please watch out for your emails on Sunday. I'm going to send you an email to do your email and your call campaign. Please continue to do those on a daily basis. It's really important, especially those phone calls. And I will also create a post on Monday asking you for your feedback only on the phone call. So if you're not getting through, I need to know that you're not getting through to whose office. So I might make a couple posts, no answers or voicemails, and no return calls back. So give me an idea of what's happening so that we can address this, because the council members are telling, like Councilman Marte's office, that no one's calling there. So if no one's calling their office, that means you must not be upset. And that's what they're telling them. So we want to make sure that those lines never stop ringing. And the only way we could do that is with you. So I know they're lying, but it's going to be the only way we're going to be able to annoy them enough that they're just going to have to get off their tushies and do the right thing. Thank you, Doreen. You too. You have a great weekend. All right, guys. Thank the moderators for everything that they do. Thumbs up and hearts for Audia for standing up for us, because she spoke out to Henry that we were not attacking him, his ethnicity. We weren't racist. There was no one with an anti-Dominican sign at the rally. and no one attacked his mother. Clearly, he doesn't like that we're on the right side of this, and he's got, to defend his own ass for his own lame ass decisions. But we're going to make sure that keeps that gets exposed. And thank you, Audia, for speaking out about it. So yeah, what could I tell you? That to me is very, very disappointing. But you guys have a wonderful weekend. I will see you Monday. Be ready to do your homework on Monday morning. You're still free to send those emails all weekend long. Please keep doing that every day. And I know Anne should teach a class on how to click and send several times a day. I think she's got a trigger finger by now. But you guys keep doing those emails on a daily basis. I want to see those emails skyrocket. There's like 430 emails in that list, or 480 emails. Every time you click it, it's 400 and something emails going every single click. You click that thing as much as you possibly can. So, and do it every day, and don't stop. This is the campaign. And then Monday, you start calling. Every day, call. Put them in your phone. Put them in your phone. Save all of their phone numbers. Office, ledge office, district office, ledge office, district office. You just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it all day long, and don't stop. Eventually, I'll tell you to stop, and then we could all party. But for right now, annoy the crap out of them. All right, I am calling it an evening. I love you guys. Have a great weekend, and I will see you Monday. Ciao.
Don't speak what you don't understand. The truth is not in your command. Don't shout about what you think is fake. The decision isn't yours to make. Don't lie about the way things are. Tall tales will take you very far. Don't scoff when they say it's the end. In this life, you know you can't pretend. The days pass by, they've set in stone. But it's not too late now for you to change your tone.